Stormtroopers, the backbone of the Empire's military might. They did all the dirty work along with fighting on the front lines. Their job was extremely dangerous, not just from the enemies, but also from the Empire they served. Their life could be gone in an instant. With that said, they must have been compensated well. Let's take a look. The average trooper made 50,000 credits a year, along with free room and boarding. To put this into perspective, the average citizen of the Star Wars galaxy made 40,000 credits a year. So while they were better than most, they were far from being rich. For an extra 10,000 credits a year, I don't think it would be worth risking my life for. But for those in the army, they were loyal to the very end. But why? Let's talk about cultural conditioning. Cultural conditioning is basically the way people are formed through their environment or society. Imagine from a very young age you're surrounded by certain messages, values, or beliefs. Whether it comes through the media, education, or just the way people talk about it. Eventually these things would become normal to you, even if they are wrong or seem kind of odd to a person that's outside of the environment. In the context of Stormtroopers, cultural conditioning was a big part of why they were so loyal to the Empire. The Empire controlled almost everything in the galaxy, including what the people saw and heard. So Stormtroopers were constantly bombarded with messages that painted the Empire as a force for good, bringing order, peace, and stability to the galaxy. They were taught to see the Emperor as a wise and just leader, and the rebels as dangerous terrorists trying to destroy everything. When you're surrounded by a certain message all the time, it shapes the world around you. So it becomes hard to imagine things in a different way. So when the Empire did some pretty terrible things, the Stormtroopers were conditioned into believing the Empire's righteousness. It was just how things were, and they felt like they were on the right side of things. This kind of cultural conditioning isn't just a Star Wars thing. It happens in the real world too. Governments, companies, and even social groups can influence how we think and behave by controlling the information we're exposed to and the values we're taught. It's why being aware of different perspectives and questioning what we're told can be so important. Now, this isn't the only reason for their fierce loyalty to the Empire. There's a combination of things such as rigorous training, indoctrination, uniformity, dehumanization, and limited information. Their training wasn't just about physical skills, it was about instilling the belief that the Empire was always right, creating soldiers who followed orders without question. This was reinforced by their uniformity of their appearance. Identical armor and helmets stripped them of individuality, turning them into a faceless, easily controlled force. On top of that, the Empire kept them in the dark about its darker deeds, only feeding them the information that would maintain their loyalty. Together, these factors created a loyal, obedient army that rarely questioned the morality of their actions.